Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 51 of the This Old Knit podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest. And you can sometimes find show notes on the episode thread of the This Old Knit podcast group on Ravelry. So, thank you to all new and returning viewers. I know there are tons and tons of podcasts out there, and mine is definitely not the best produced of them all, but I appreciate all of you coming back and taking the time to spend some time with me. So this is super impromptu. I was working from home today, and I'm recording on my phone, and the windows are open, so there seem to be a lot of sirens. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully nothing bad. Seems like they're stopping very close to our house. Don't have any makeup on, but I wanted to make sure I recorded an episode because I know it's been a while, and we'll see how much I get done just because Joshua's having some temper tantrums downstairs. He was just pounding on the door a second ago. So, yeah, let's see what happens. I'm looking for something to pull my hair back because my hair is very warm. So since I'm upstairs, it's really hot up here. It's about 84 degrees outside, which is, let's see, about 25 degrees Celsius. And that's not too bad. It's very nice and pleasant outside, but obviously all the heat rises, so our upstairs gets a lot warmer than our downstairs. And yeah, even though I have all the windows open up here, it's still a little more stuffy than it is downstairs. So anyway, I'm going to pause this and try to find something to pull my hair back. I'll be right back. I'm back. Okay, I found a little clippy, and hopefully it will hold my hair okay. So, I've had a pretty busy 2 weeks, and gosh, I feel like this camera is so high. Yeah, but I do have a finished object to show you. I have some whips, and I had recorded a segment to talk about my sampler up here because somebody had asked about it, but I will go through that today too. My mom had given me the leaflet that it's from, which I of course left downstairs because this was impromptu. And I do have a yarn acquisition, which I talked about last time. So let's get on with it. So my finished object, I actually talked about it in the last podcast, but I didn't have it to show you all, so I wanted to make sure I showed it. Ignore the ends. There are no ends. What are you talking about? There's no ends. So they are my Felici socks in the fanciful colorway. And the lighting is really weird. I'm sorry about that. It's because of the time of day. It's very bright, even though it's actually quite cloudy right now. But they are, here, I'll just bring them over here. Ha, that's better coloring. They're in the vanilla bean sock pattern, which is really just a vanilla sock pattern, and you slip one, knit one at the color changes in your yarn. I knit them on size 2.5 millimeter needles, 64 stitches, and I really like them. So it's starting to be too warm to wear socks at all, so these will probably go in my Boxo socks for the fall. But there are two. And I think I matched up the stripes pretty well. They pretty much match all the way down. So, yep, I'm very happy with them. And I definitely want to do more of this pattern because it worked really nicely for the self-striping sock yarn, and I have a lot of Felici, and it works nicely with Felici. So why change a good thing? And then whips, I've done a lot more on my Miss Dashwood shawl. And that's really the main thing that I've been working on. So I completed the border and then I started working on the body of the shawl. And unfortunately, because it's worked as short rows for the body, I can't completely stretch it out for you guys. But I'm going to do my best. So here it is, all crumply, all crumpled up. And I've put pictures on Instagram as well. So the body of the shawl is knit in this, it's almost like a faux cable. And it's going to be obviously stretched out quite a bit when it gets blocked. And then the border is this lovely lacy pattern. It has some leaf detail, some different motifs, which I'll try to stretch out for you there. So these circular motifs, this open work, and then a picot edge. It's really hard to see. You can see it on my hand because I have a very light background because my wall is light yellow and my ceiling is white, and I have Cape Cod ceilings in my upstairs, so kind of hard to see. Let me make sure you can see. Oh, there we go. So you can see the body detail. It's really nice. So it's a, I wouldn't call it semicircular. Oh my God. Okay, way better. And now I've pulled my, I hate when my hair is pulled back really hard because I have a big forehead. So it makes my forehead look huge. So I try to always have a little bit of fluff going on. Now I feel like the camera's a little bit low. I'm just not going to win with this. I'm just not. Anyway, so that's my Miss Dashwood shawl. It's a pattern by Paulina Popielek. And you can look at it on my pattern page. I have a pattern page. The yarn that I'm using is Bas Platinum in the La Perla colorway. So it has sparkles, which you can sort of see there. You can capture just a little bit of it. It's silver stellina in it. And it's very slight, but it's nice because it gives it that pearly sheen. So it's very cool. So anyway, this sucker is going to be massive. When I stretch it out, the border at least was like wider than my wingspan, so I think it's going to be really huge when it's all blocked out. There you can see it pretty well. Oh good, now they're street sweeping. That's delightful. Yeah, that's going to be the YouTube picture, is me going, look at this. Oh my God. So weird. That's what happens when you don't plan. When you impromptu record, things get weird. Okay, and that is in my lovely bag made for me by Coddington on Ravelry and Instagram. On Instagram, she's Coddington Autumn. But thank you, Autumn. I use it all the time. And then new cast on. So my husband has been really enjoying Lego socks that I've made for him, and he doesn't have enough pairs for how often that he wears them. So I asked him what he would like to have as his next pair of socks, and I had two yarns. I had one was the I wonder if I have a ball up here. It's Patton's Croy, and I think it's in the blue brown marl. It's one of the rag shades. So I had that one, and I had the West Yorkshire Spinners Mallard colorway. And I asked him which one he'd like better, and he said actually he thought the Patton's Crow was a little bit dull, and so he picked this one, which has a little more color in it. It's got greens and blues and browns and creams. It looks very much like a mallard duck. But my husband, as we've said before, loves color. He said something about being vivacious, which I thought was funny. So I said I was going to share that. So all I've done is cast on, and I knit one row, because if you just have the cast on, it's very easy to twist it. So that's all I've done on these so far, just because I haven't had time to work on them, because I've been focusing on this shawl. I'm knitting the shawl for the Knitting Broomstick podcast knit along for it's a Jane Austen knit along for the month of May, so I only have a couple of days to finish it, but the body of the shawl is going very, very quickly. I've only been working on it for maybe like 2 or 3 days, and I actually had to rip it all the way out, all the work that I did one evening, so I've made pretty good progress. So I'm pretty confident that I can finish it in time. Nothing fancy today. It's just normal coffee from home. I have it in, I got this Starbucks mug. They have these just plastic mugs that look exactly like their normal mugs. And I got these for camping because we didn't have any coffee cups for camping. And I thought these are only $2. So I figured if for some reason they got broken, we could recycle them, and they make just normal mugs, and they fit in all of our cup holders for when we go camping. So that's what I've got going on, and since I was upstairs working, I wanted to make sure I had a lid, so I actually had a chance if I spilled it to not spill it on my laptop. I did try their Special Reserve coffee. I tried the Malawi Special Reserve. Oh my god, it was amazing. It had so much flavor. I don't use a lot of sugar or cream in my coffee, and it just had, yeah, tons of flavor. It was great. So I recommend that if you haven't tried it and your Starbucks has it. They said not all Starbucks have the Special Reserve because they have a different machine that they have to use to brew it. And it like grinds it and does like, I don't know what, but it's fancy. But ours happens to have it. One of our stores has it in the area, so I wanted to try it. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm looking around because I have bags kind of all over the place. My desk is a mess behind me, so sorry about that. It's a little crazy. Because I was working, I kind of shove my stuff to the sides so that I can set up my laptop straight up behind me, and I hadn't yet reordered everything. You will notice I only have 2 orchids here. Maybe you won't notice, but my Miltassia is not doing so hot. It keeps dropping leaves that look perfectly healthy. They just come off. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't feel too bad because the guy that I met at the orchid show said he has never been able to successfully get one to grow, so it could just be that our climate is wrong for them and it's not gonna do very well. It looks so nice and green. It looks beautiful. It looks healthy, other than that guy right there. But it keeps dropping leaves off like that. The one thing that gives me hope is that guy right there. You can't see him. It's a brand new leaf that has come on since I bought it. So, oh, and there's one right there too. So it's getting new growth. So I'm thinking maybe it's fine and it just was stressed and has some damaged leaves that it needs to get over itself. I don't know. And I also moved it so it's getting a little more sun. I don't know. Fingers crossed. It's the one nice thing about buying from the retired orchid sale is if they do happen to die, I didn't pay full price for them. Everything is between $2 and $12 for orchids. So, you know, if I went to actually buy them in a store and got some of the rarer orchids, they could be like $30 or $40, and I would feel a lot worse if I killed one of those. But when they're a little bit cheaper, I don't care as much. And all the other ones are doing great. It's just that one. So anyway, okay, in this bag, I have my Espresso Macchiato socks by CC Allman from the Coffee with CC ebook. These I'm doing for the Knitting Broomstick Coffee with CC Cow, and also for the Box of Socks Cow in the Valen Vine Yarngasm group. I always want to say the Valen Vine group, but she has two groups. She has one for her yarn, and then she has one that is for her podcast. So, in the Yarngasm group. So these are, that's just a twisted rib on the top so far. And I think I did one row of knitting just because I wanted to do an anchor row before I start doing the pattern. So this one, the pattern, you choose to do it on whichever stripe that you want. So I'm thinking I'm going to do it on the green stripe. I haven't made up my mind yet because the green, there's actually two greens in here. There's a very, very light pale green and then a darker mint. And it's really hard to tell the difference between the two. So I didn't want to actually do it on that one. I wanted it on one that I could really tell it was that color. So I might do actually on the purple, which would mean I'd need to knit through the rest of the pink, knit the two greens, and then do the purple. But unfortunately, that would mean I have a lot of sock without the pattern. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. The transition between the pink and the mint, though, is pretty distinctive. So maybe it would be fine to do it at the beginning of the mint stripe. I might just try it and see what happens. I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. This is really weird for me. Also looks like there's stuff on it. Hey, that's better. There was stuff on it. Okay. There was stuff on my camera. Sorry. So those are my Espresso Macchiato socks. And again, haven't got very far on them, but I do at least have them cast on, and I have the ribbing done on one sock. Size 2.5 millimeter Hattie sock rackets, per the usual. Now they're just hanging. Okay. Then the last thing that I've really been working on, seems like not very much stuff, but I've got a lot done on the shawl, so that's been my main area of focus, is that I cast on for my 10-stitch twist. I keep wanting to say 10-stitch circular blanket, and that's not the name of the pattern. It's the 10-stitch twist pattern by Frankie Brown, so it's the same person who designed my other 10-stitch blanket, which is sitting over here in the corner. But it's a spiral. So here's what I've got done so far. I'm doing the center spiral. So I think that I knit around and then I start expanding it outward. And when I have done that, I'm going to come back and seam up the middle part. But I have a couple more things to do there. So what you do is, if it'll focus, focus. Essentially what you do is you knit little wedges, so it's short rows, and you knit little pie wedges to go around in a circle. And then once I've finished those pie wedges, I'm going to start picking up and joining as I go. So it's very similar to her other 10-stitch patterns. The yarn I'm using right here is the Vesper sock yarn in the Rainbow Love colorway. And I have a pair of socks out of this yarn, which I really, really love. I got it in a swap from Greg, who's Knitting Daddy, on Ravelry, and I really love this sock yarn, and I did not want to waste one bit of it. So it was the inspiration for what I'm going to do with this blanket, which is rainbow. So I'm going to, if I had been smart, I would have started with red, but I just started where it left off on the ball. So we'll be going out to, it'll be green, blue, purple, and then red, orange, yellow, green, blue. And I'll do probably one more swirl out with this, maybe two. And then I'm going to start with other colors. So I might do pink. And then I've got a pinky, orangey. These are the ones that I got from L.E. Lacy Yarns. Got this cool, this reminds me of Tang, this color of orange. And then a yellow. So she dyed this set for me based on, I said I loved pinks, oranges, and yellows. Yeah, there you go. It's bright yellow. So you get the idea. I would just go back through the rainbow again over and over. So that's my plan, that this is going to be like a rainbow blanket, and I will add to it as I can, but I'm pleased that I started it. And yeah, the pattern's pretty easy. I screwed up when I went to transition, like I did half the circle, and then you're supposed to knit across all the stitches and then knit back across all the stitches. The way the pattern read, it said work one ridge, all 10 stitches, but a ridge is 2 rows because it's garter stitch. So I knit one row, and then I started the pattern again, and it went out like this. I was like, okay, something's wrong. It's supposed to be spiraling back, and then I realized what I did. Silly me. So that is that blanket. And then I got one thing in the mail. And I actually have my Valen Vine Club shipment coming, and my No Makers Mini Skein Club coming. So I think the Valen Vine one is the last shipment for that club, and then the Rando Mini Skein Club is all year. So I don't know how many more shipments I have for that one. But I did buy one skein of Valen Vine yarn because it was Gilmore Girls themed, and I am really enjoying the Gilmore Girls. So this is her new colorway called Coffee Coffee Coffee, and I just got it on House Gnome. My plan is to knit a shawl with this, at least for right now. That is my plan, is to knit a shawl. And I'm going to use a cream color. I have a cream color of Spud and Chloe in the popcorn colorway, and I thought that that would well represent all of the movies that they watch, because they have movie night and they eat lots of junk food, and I thought popcorn would be good to go with this because it's creamy. And then I'm going to pair it with a green, and I haven't decided which green yet, so let me grab that really quick. I have two. One is a lime sherbet colorway, and it was dyed by my friend Gwen. but I think it's almost too pale if I'm also going to have a cream color. So my other choice is this one, which my mom gave to me. It's from Knitting Notions. They're the same company that made the yarn that I knit my husband's gloves out of. This is Classic Merino Bamboo. So it is 65% superwash merino, 35% bamboo yarn. And the colorway is Peridot. This is a little bit darker. But I was thinking for Gilmore Girls, there is one episode where they go to a bed and breakfast and they're talking about not eating enough vegetables. And Lorelai says, "What? There was lettuce on the hamburgers." And Rory says, "But you picked it off." And she said, "But the essence of the lettuce was still there." And Rory says something like, "There was lettuce essence on those burgers? Who knew?" So I wanted it to be with lettuce essence. So that, and a cream color. And I'm going to call it my Squeegee Beckenheim shawl. For those who know Gilmore Girls stuff. So Squeegee Beckenheim. I think those will be really cool together. It's a 3-color shawl. And I'm going to do the coffee date shawl from CC Almond because I need to do that as part of the Coffee with CC Cow. You have to knit all the patterns in her book over the course of the year. So, yep. That is pretty set. Now that I've talked through it. Uh-oh. I think Joshua just fell. Okay. So, that's the plan for that. That's all the acquisitions that I have. Just kind of general stuff. I redrew for the Valen Cow. I had not heard from the person that I drew for 4 weeks. So I redrew. So the new winner is 8 Kathy. So Kathy, and I think you're from Canada, please contact me and then I will coordinate with Kristen. I'm not sure if she's going to give you a gift card for her shop or if she's actually going to send a skein straight to you. So just send me a PM on Ravelry and I will make sure that I get it all worked out for you. So that is that. And then we have a couple more weeks left on our spring into summer cows. So again, that's just anything that reminds you of spring or summer or things that you would wear in spring or summer. Yeah, I think that's it. Whips are allowed, and I don't actually have a finished objects thread for that, so I'm just going to draw from the cow chatter thread. So come and participate. And then any other administrative stuff? I don't believe so. So my weeks. So last week I was going to record over the weekend, but I had just a really not good day at work on Friday. So I decided that I was just going to take the weekend and hang out with the family and not really stress out about stuff. So I did not record because of that, but we did have a nice weekend. So we spent a lot of time outside in the yard and we saw a lot of animals. We saw this beautiful swallowtail butterfly. Oh, poor guy. We saw a fox, which was super exciting. I have not seen a fox in forever, not since I was a little girl. So I'm very excited that we were able to make a place where they feel comfortable. My husband thought it was a dog or a cat, and then he was like, wait a second, that tail looks really weird. And then it kind of took off across the yard. He called us because it was sitting there for a little while, and then as we got there, all we saw was the bushy tail with the white tip on it kind of flitting back into the trees in the back of our property, but very exciting. So Megwin has been trying to lure it to various places so she can see it again, which of course hasn't worked. I'm trying to think if we saw any other interesting wildlife. I don't think so. The baby ducks survived. We thought that the eggs had been eaten by the raccoon or some other predator, because the mother duck wasn't around anymore, and we found a few of the shells with still some like stuff in them, and we read online that if they aren't hatched normally, that they would have like the white in them. But then we saw the mother duck with ducklings in our yard, and we didn't get to count how many, but there were a lot. So maybe not all 11 survived, but we think at least 7 of them did survive. So we were very happy about that. And then, oh, I brought these up. I discovered these at Trader Joe's, and I am totally obsessed with them. So they are just dehydrated beets. There's nothing else in them. The ingredients are just beets. But they're really tasty. So I've been snacking on those as a good between meals snack, because I really try to just eat little bits throughout the day rather than like really huge meals. So if you have a Trader Joe's near you, just beets. I like them. Oh yeah, I got a tea package, and I didn't bring up the other teas, but another person on Ravelry in the Knitting Broomstick podcast group, I had asked for Twining's Winter Spice Tea, and April, Pug Love in April, had contacted me and said she had some, and so I said, okay, cool. I will swap with you, which I haven't done my swap package yet. And then another person also pinged me and said, well, hey, I have a whole box in my cupboard if you would like it. And I said, oh, well, I already, got my tea wish granted, but she insisted and said, no, it's fine, I will send it to you. So I do not have her permission to, she sent me a bunch of stuff, and I don't have her return address to send her back things. So she sent me the whole box of Winter Spice. And then she also sent me some Taylor's Sweet Rhubarb, Mommy, and then Taylor's Decoy? Rose Lemonade.
What is a decoy?
A decoy?
Mm-hmm.
It's something to fool people into thinking the thing is real. So like if you had a pretend duck to fool the ducks into thinking there was already a duck in the yard. Excuse me, let me get that. That would be one example. Or,
well, I would do a decoy.
You are really loud. Wow.
Well, I could do a decoy so I could get away from something.
Yeah, that would work. That's another way you could use a decoy.
Or I could use a decoy so I could go somewhere to block anyone's entrance if they were a bad guy, so they couldn't get away.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them just having this stuff in their hands, but I'm not okay with them going out the door.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm wrapping up, sweetie.
Daddy and I are going down to the creek.
Oh, okay.
Now.
Okay, cool. So I will quickly show you guys the sampler, and then I guess this will be a shorter podcast because I don't have anything else to share. So I have, like I said, I've only been working really on my shawl because I desperately want to finish it by the end of the month, and I've been busy with work and with just trying to spend some time with the kids in the evenings. So like Megwin and I had a really elaborate tea party the other day. Been doing some of the big chunky puzzles with Joshua in the evenings. We've done some building with Duplos, and just generally trying to keep the house a little bit more in order is a lot of stuff. So that pretty much fills up my time, and I don't have much time for other crafts. So I will stop the video and record. No, you know what? I'll just pick up the phone, because last time I stopped and recorded a separate segment, I forgot to put it in. So this is my sampler, and I will use the reflection in it to see what I'm showing you. So it's got different patterns on each letter, and then they have a picture that represents that letter. So like apple, balloons, clown, duck, elephant, etc. all the way down. So my mom said it's a leisure arts booklet, and it was called like Motifs for Baby from the 1980s. Might have even been the late 70s when that booklet was published. My mom did give me the booklet, so somebody asked for the design, so I have it. But she's actually looking for this particular design was an insert into that booklet, and she is trying to find that insert. She doesn't know where it is, but she'll find it, because my mom finds everything. I'm sure she has it stashed away somewhere. And then, really quickly, when I got out my tea set that my mom made for me when I was a kid, I found this in there as well. So this is a little doll quilt that my mom made for me out of scrap fabric. So it's got different reds and whites, and then on the back it's just red with white stripes. So Megwin is very excited about having this little quilt for her dolls and other animals. She's not as big as of a doll fan in particular, but she has a lot of other stuffed animals that she likes to play with. So I was glad that that was in there, so I could share that with her. So it's not huge, but it's very nice. It's squishy, and my mom made me a lot of baby quilts, and like then doll. This is the only doll quilt that I have from her, but I have several of the baby quilt stuff that she made for me. So that is everything I have. Sorry for the shorter episode this week, but glad to see you all again, and I hope that you have a great week. I will try to get back on a weekly recording schedule, but we'll just have to see how it goes. So until next time, I will talk to you soon, and I hope you get to have a week enjoying the things that you love. All right, bye-bye.